This is something I've been wanting to get off my chest for a long time, and now is the time to tell this story. Back in September 9th of 2019, I got a headache that was so harsh. I was driving the black Tesla 75D that I got off loaner, and I thought it was the fact that the car is dual motor was the fact that that was making me sick. All right, fast forward, got over that, everything seemed to be fine, but every time I go to work, I realized, I was starting to realize that this particular patient is making me super ill. I was getting this rapid heart rate, heavy breathing. A lot of the commenters, when I was making my videos, was calling me, oh, you're fat this, you can't even freaking breathe, and all of this stuff. But I guess I started to buy into that, and like, damn, I guess I am fat. I am big. I am a big guy. And but I'm glad that commenter or commenters left that comment saying that I'm fat or something wrong with my breathing, because now that confirms that my breathing was off some of those days. All right, so that put me on a little bit of a higher alert. Those comments that seems like criticisms actually helped me. Going on further, I'm continuing to take care of this patient. One particular patient, we're going to call him by his initials, AG. I work in a nursing home. So AG, every time AG takes a dump, he moves his bowels, AG he was confused. I mean, these things happen to people. AG would literally take a dump anywhere he wanted to, or he'll just take a dump on himself. A lot of old people have accidents, but it stunk on another level. This particular patient had a particular illness that he was going out to the hospital for. So it was causing him to have the runs. And the runs was not the substance. So the substance would stay in his belly and distend his belly out. But what was coming out was the liquid form, no substance. So I continued to take care of this patient. When he would come back, it's the same thing. It would come back out as liquid. And every time I would get very sick, rapid heart rate and heavy breathing. Now we're reaching around October 20. This is when I started to really notice that it's not me. It's the patient. The patient is the one that's making me sick. So me and the nurse said, nah, this has been going on for too long. We need to get to the bottom of it. So the nurse told me, okay, when you come in tomorrow, make your rounds. Don't really take care of any patient. Don't go to any patient. You're only going to take care of him. And then we're going to monitor you after that. So we did that. And the same thing happened again once he moved his bowels. Bang. Sometimes 95, sometimes 110, sometimes 100. But it was always a rapid pulse with following up with heavy breathing eventually. And sometimes it will go away before the shift over. Sometimes it'll last the rest of the whole shift. So this is when I got mad. I took it to management, real heavy and hard. I was losing my mind. I am getting sick. There was something that went on one particular day taking care of this patient. I noticed a bug in the room. Now, there's been this thing which I didn't notice at the time. These little itty bitty flies, these little flies all over. Sometimes a lot, sometimes a little, but there's these little itty bitty flies that I can't explain. Why are these little flying insects? Why are they so small? We'll get to that in a minute. But there was one day I seen this bug hopping along the floor, and I just knew, something just tell me, you have to film this. Sucker. You see this? Yeah. Got it. And I filmed it, and I just kept it there. It's only now that I recently ran back into that bug. And that led me forward into what's going on in my head right now. forgot about it. All right, so going forward, I'm arguing with management about I'm getting sick from this patient, and they refuse to believe me, even though I had all this evidence, all this backing. I had the nurse backing me up. They refused to believe me. They even refused to equip me with masks. All right, so I turn around and I call the state. I called, I think 2 parts of the state, if not OSHA or whatever. I made phone calls. I gave them the patient name. I gave them the brief description, because with those people, it's in a rush. Hurry up. I told them what was going on. They never came. I don't think they ever investigated what I was saying. So I had to go on taking care of the patient. But it was one day I went back to management again. And I told the whole story again. I'm getting sick. It's the fecal matter, high heart rate, blah, blah. Boy, this was like maybe December or so, or maybe January, whatever the case was. So I says, okay, so if you don't believe me, why is his roommate having the same rapid heart rate, the same heavy breathing, but 103.5 temperature? And from that, by the time I came to work the following night, that patient was gone. Now we head into January of 2020. Now it's January of 2020. We're really hearing about this Wuhan, what's going on with Wuhan and blah, blah. But we never got our antennas off. We really ain't pay it no mind. We start noticing that this funky fecal matter, that seems to be making us feel a little sick, at least definitely me. I feel everything. My body reacts to everything harshly. I'm noticing it from other patients now. So now I'm thinking, could it be me just finding things more stink now? I don't know. So I said, man, something not right. Everybody's stuff stinks the same way. It smells like a chemical. That was the thing I said over and over again. It smells like a chemical. And the thing is, once you breathe it in, it feels like it's stuck in your mouth. It feels like you're constantly eating it. It feels like you're tasting it. Now, if you guys are nurses out there or CNAs out there that has to clean feces, maybe you might know what I'm talking about. It stinks so bad you feel like you ate it. So now we start reaching end of January, February. You got some cases. Now we start getting into February, March, and stuff starts to heat up. A matter of fact, this is where the flood of patients starting to die. And I seen all the blood clots. Oh, the patients kicked out some blood clots all over the place. One particular patient, I'm telling the nurse, I see blood in this stool. I said, I know it's blood there. I can see from the stain. And she said, no, it's not. They wrote it off. No, it's not. But the next time I worked with him and he had a movement, it was pure blood clots. Now, moving forward, after the hell that we had in March and April, watching all these patients die, the staff held up. No one came up positive. In April, I got sick. Staff came up positive after me. I got sick first. We never made nursing a priority. Now it needs to be a priority. Half the staff is sick. Matter of fact, we have more staff sick than we have patients sick. I remember now, looking back, I made a video about it, how I was feeling. But I didn't have the knowledge in my head to put 2 and 2 together like I do now. But one thing I knew, felt like a chemical we're dealing with. It did not feel like something normal. And, oh, the minute they started testing, AG came up positive with no symptoms of anything, but he was positive. Repeated the test, still positive. It's like he stayed positive for a very long time, but he was off my floor. I didn't care. To tell you the truth, I was very relieved. All right, so we go through the whole year. We go through the summer. I started to realize that I have to pay attention to myself. But one thing I noticed with those couple of months, I used to notice these little flies now in my house, in my room. I would be literally making a video and I have to stop to like fan up a fly away. And the fly is so small. So I bought these little sticky things that you pull down to catch some of those flies. And I realized I had to put up a lot. For some reason, those flies were so small, something told me, don't take it down. Leave it there. That will tell a story later on. Now, at the job, we have those little flies. Every time we open up our coffee, the fly would appear. The little flies. It's like, oh, this place is dirty. This nursing home dirty. This hospital dirty. I'm sure you guys are saying that. But whether the place dirty or not, it's going to have those flies. I went ahead now. I didn't catch on to those flies, but I knew it would reveal itself in the future what it is, you know? So I just left those stickies there. Why not? They're still there. Now I'm realizing where they're coming from. So now we've gone through the whole summer, and I'm telling people coming up positive, people getting sick now, and I got through it. And the way I got through it, my mother did one thing that I didn't want her to do, but it seemed to save me, and I'm going to tell you guys what it is. Now we're going through the summer. Everything seems to be fine. Those co-workers of mine acting like COVID is gone, and I'm like, no, it's not. I still sense it, because now I'm becoming very sensible to it. I'm starting to realize that this thing has a scent. It has an odor. It has a way you can sense it. But then I started to realize once you sense it, it's in your system and you feel it going in, and you feel the little prickly feelings that it gives. So now I'm like, wait a second, why this thing feels like that? Why am I feeling things? So I started to realize, okay, I'm going to kill it. I'm going to find a way to kill it. And I started to find a way to kill it.
He's leading me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. There I walk to the valley of the shadow of death. I shall fear no evil, so thou art with me. My rod and my staff shall comfort me.
I told my co-workers how to kill it, and they just don't believe. And then eventually some of them tried it, and it worked. It gave them relief. But it wasn't dead. It was still in the system. Now that I'm understanding it now, it never died. I added this one. Why? Because I was doing temperatures with these two, and it still got in. So now I had to add a third one, plus the glasses. You can't even protect yourself with 2 masks. Now I had to go 3. My heart racing. You guys think this is a joke. It's not a joke. And every time you get around someone who's infected and you get their infection, the whole circle starts again. That is SARS. SARS-CoV-2 is the virus that causes COVID-19. But I started to realize, like, what is this SARS thing? And then I looked it up, and then I understand it. SARS is the precursor to COVID-19. But anyway, we reach back the winter now. Everything was fine in the summer, and the COVID is picking back up again. So now I'm like, oh gosh, this again? So now we back in it. And then things calm down. Even though people were saying in December and January it's gonna get big again, it didn't. It was nice and calm. But when January rolled around and that vaccine came, everything just start changing a little bit. First the patients looked great, and then they got their little side effects. They got over that, and then you got a couple of people looking weird. A lot of weirdness going on. But they're living. They're alive. And the other co-workers are paying attention, but I don't think anyone paying attention as deeply as me. And I said, no way I'm taking that. No way. I've been surviving the whole year, fighting it by myself, even though I had a hard time. No way. So now I start noticing that my co-workers are making me sick. Before I even see a patient, before I even touch a patient, in the beginning of the shift, before the first hour is even done, I have a rapid heart rate and heavy breathing. 107 to 110 pulse. I'm already exposed. Okay, what's going on? So I had to test that day by day and see how that goes until I reach the point where I have to avoid my own staff members making me sick. So there was days I wore one mask. There was days I wore 2, 3 masks. I was trying everything. The 2 masks felt like 1 mask. I realized the surgical mask is pure garbage. Don't even bother. And then the surgical mask, if you look how it's made, it's not made in a clean environment. So why would I put that on my face? So I bought my own mask because my job only wants to provide the cheapest stuff that they can give. This place is run under our wonderful Governor Cuomo. We see you, Governor Cuomo. We see you. We see you. I drank all your Kool-Aid in the beginning, but we see you now. Now that brings us to the present. Where we at in the present? All right, so now we're pretty much at the present day scenario. I'm in this field because I care about people. I came here to save people. I came to help people. Now I'm starting to see that the field that I'm in has been weaponized. My coworkers are a weapon against me now. My coworkers are making me sick. So not only I'm going to go to the patients, I have to worry about my staff now. So everywhere is a threat to me. And in my opinion, what you get from the coworkers that took the vaccine is 10 times stronger than what you get from someone else who just got SARS-CoV-2, or from the old people. Maybe because the old people's systems are weak, they can't push out anything too potent. But my coworkers, it's on another level. Maybe it's a new strain. Because you know what I realized? The people who took the first round of vaccinations are kicking out the UK strain, which is the strain that fills up your back. Like your back is really bothering you. And then the African strain that I've experienced as well from my coworkers is on the 3rd and the 4th batch of these vaccines, which that is a whole nother nightmare. And I've fought and beat all of those. So I'm like, how are people dying in the hospital or dying at home when I can beat this? And not one person has come to us to say, how are you guys surviving even though you guys are tremendously exposed? You know what it is? They have no interest to find out how we're surviving. They're just hoping we hurry up and die. That's what this is. I'm doing my little investigations and I'm noticing that for me, those flies went away at my house, but they continued at the job. Not only that, in the patient's rooms, if the door is closed and you open up that door after a while, the room smells like a big fat fart. But you know what I realized? When you get this SARS-CoV-2 from fecal matter, you're getting it mixed up with the fecal matter. So at the same time you're getting that sickness, you're getting it with the fecal matter. If you smell weed on the street and you inhale that weed and that weed has COVID in it, same thing with cigarettes. You're going to continuously smell it. Check this out, guys. I'm here like, okay, so they made weed legal because they know people that smoke weed, it's literally a social gathering when they smoke weed. So this is why they legalize weed, so we can smoke it together. They legalize weed because they know the weed smell travels. Like right now I smell weed and I have no idea where it's coming from. And for you white guys, for you white people, I feel you. I get you. You know why? I understand why you don't wear a mask. Because by you wearing a heavy-duty mask, you are keeping in the virus. You are overloading your system with the virus. You are overloading your system with the virus if you keep a mask on. That's why there's so many people that refuse to wear a mask. They are not wrong. But wearing a mask is not wrong either. you're preventing the virus from coming in. So you people who don't want to wear masks, you are inviting the whole virus to come into your system. You can easily expel it, but you're inviting it in. Now the people that wear masks, yeah, you're pulling in the virus still, but you're putting it in at a lower load, something you can handle. And that takes me into my next part, because when you get too much of a viral load, you get very sick, like I am right now. I don't sound sick. I'm breathing. I'm fine. But I'm not. There's something else I gotta tell you guys. I had to battle a viral load because one patient had a very huge, stink, hot bowel movement that I inhaled. And also, I picked it up from one of my coworkers. And then before I left the job, after I was dragging myself through the shift because I know I was infected, I know I was sick. But I can't go home because that'll be abandonment. Can't go home. Can't go home. I gotta bear it. So, a couple of hours left. I'm gonna finish it up. I took a break. I took a well-needed break, and it felt like I was relieved a little bit. Enough to finish out the shift. But then when I went into the pantry and my coworker was coming in the pantry, we met at the doorway and she took the vaccine. She took the first dose. And as she spoke to me, she asked me a question about a patient. And immediately I felt my upper back just fill up, and that messed me up. I haven't been to work since. I'm in uniform right now, but for a specific reason. That messed me up. I fought like hell with what I do, and it doesn't work. I can't kill it this time. I can't. But that's a blessing in disguise, because now I know what I'm dealing with. Now I really know the demon that I'm dealing with inside. This is not a virus. This is a parasite. And all of you guys, and what you're feeling in your throat, you're not feeling scratchiness for no reason. You're not feeling dry for no reason. There is a reason behind this dryness that we all have in our throat. There's a reason why people gotta wake up in the middle of the night and drink water. There's a reason why people gotta leave water by their bedside. There's a reason why people wake up literally choking on themselves because they're so dry. Because the parasite is drinking your water that you use in your throat. Yeah, I'm telling you. The virus may start off in your lungs, but this thing sits in the back of your throat, behind your neck. I reached the stage right now that I know how this thing works. I found your information on it, and I know the truth. Years ago, I took the flu vaccine, and once I took that flu vaccine, I picked up like 50 pounds worth of weight. Instead of me going on my normal routine, getting sick with a flu once every 2 years, I get sick with the flu every 6 months with the vaccine. Without the vaccine, I don't get flu no more. And a matter of fact, since COVID came out, guess what? Since COVID came out, nobody got the flu. A matter of fact, the common cold is even gone. The common cold is gone. How did that happen? How come one thing replaced all the rest when the one thing that came out is not even a real virus? It's a sickness, yes, but it's a parasite. Now, I keep on saying that. It's in your throat, it's in the back of your neck. But the one thing I needed to do to get my airway open, because I was losing my airway. I'm still losing my airway. You gotta gargle on warm water, because that was the thing that the doctor told me the last time I got sick. Because I've been to the doctor several times. I've been to the hospital several times. The doctor said gargle on warm water or warm salt water. She really said salt water. But I'm telling you, try both. Which one feels better for you, the better. So one day I was gargling so much because I had no airway. I'm fighting to keep my airway. And I gargled so much, I choked on it. And as I choked on it, I coughed. And as I coughed, something came out. And something, because when I was in my shower, I was aiming the hot water on this certain area by my shoulder that was sharp. It felt so sharp. It was a sharp pain. And I'm like, what is this? And it's like it was stuck. It couldn't move, or it reached a part in my lung where it had no place to go because it was scared, because I had that hot water hot. And it seems like I killed it, or it was stuck. And then I coughed it out. And this is what it looked like. I said, wait a second, there's no freaking way. No way. I thought it was a piece, in some ways it looks like a piece of dead tissue. Dead meaning skin tissue. And I'm like, nah, man, nah, can't be, right? But because of the OnePlus 7T Pro 5G, I'll give you the whole name. Because of that phone, it has a microscopic camera. So I use a microscopic camera and I was able to see what that thing is. And I noticed this thing looked like some type of demon bug. And then it just brought me back to the Seattle video of the New Year's Day celebration from Seattle. That video had a bug in it. So now, after yelling at the computer screen back then, and I'm like, what is that bug for? What are they showing us a bug for? What is this nonsense from Seattle? Bill Gates, we see you. We see you. Now I know what the bug is. Now I understand. Now I get it. Thank you for the clue. Now I truly get it. That was really in my system. And I coughed it out. And the minute I coughed it out, my fever broke. The minute my fever broke, I really knew what to do next. Really mess with this thing and really see what's inside of me. But I thought at that point it was over, and it still wasn't over. Why? Because the hive is behind your neck. The hive is in your throat. That's why you're dry. That's why you're constantly, when you swallow, you feel this prickly sensation. You're feeling the bugs. They're in your throat. All of us is suffering with this dryness of the mouth, this scratchy throat. Some of my coworkers, they walking around, and I see other people on the subway and all everywhere. Everyone's everybody's scratching their throat. Everybody's scratching their throat. You're scratching your throat because those bugs need water too. So they're literally draining all of the moisture, all the moisture that you would normally have in your throat. They're drinking it. They're drying you out every single time. But if you don't drink, you'll get dry and you'll choke. This is why people have to get a tracheotomy. This is why people have to get intubated, because they're super dry. Because a lot of people don't like to drink water. They want to drink sodas and they want to drink juice. And every time you give an insect sugar, you're really feeding that insect. Ever since I realized this in the last couple of days, I haven't put one drop of sugar of any sort. Anything sweet has not came in my mouth, because you're feeding it. I searched for our eggs in the vaccine because I know the vaccine is actually the different variants. So looking online, I asked this if they have eggs in the vaccine. They said no. So I said, okay, what's another word for eggs? Larva. So I looked up larva. Oh, wow. Oh, larva, insect larva, is in the vaccine. So this is what I found in my search. When I was searching, I actually found some extra stuff, but here's something that I can definitely back up with what I feel. Because I stopped with what everyone was saying, which I really stopped listening to people. I stopped with whatever the news told us what this thing was about. I started saying, pay attention to my body. My body is talking to me. My body is telling me what's inside and where it is. So now that's when I started asking the questions. And those questions led me to this. This is from 2011. Imagine that, 2011. A lot of you guys are searching within the last couple of years. 2011. It says, insect larvae biofactories as a platform for influenza vaccine production. Abstract. Increased production capacity is one of the most important priorities for seasonal and pandemic influenza vaccine. In the present study, we use a baculose virus insect larva system considered small living biofactories to improve the production of the recombinant influenza virus H1N1. Hemagglutinin HA insect larva production fourfold more HA protein than insect cell per biomass unit G1 of flesh larva weight. A single infected Tritroplusia larva produced up to 113 G of soluble and easy purified recombinant HA, an amount similar to that produced by 1.2 times 10 8 FF21 insect cell infected by the same baculose virus. I can go further, but it gets a little bit more complicated with the words that we don't know. But the title alone is the exact description of what I feel in my body. There's a hive. I call it a hive. I know there's something huge going on in the throat. This is their living quarters. And where the virus, the biofactory is, I believe I have one in my stomach. This is why my stomach inflated. Looking at the pictures in my photos app has showed me the progression of my stomach. A stomach that I can't even pull in. I feel another area in my chest. Even though I've killed the virus, I have put it dormant until I run into something else. It's dormant now. Okay, how do we transfer? What are we transferring? You see, this is the thing that clicked in my head. I said to myself, okay, what if I'm feeling what I'm feeling? Then what we're transferring back and forth to each other through breath and fecal matter is eggs. That's why I looked up eggs. And they said it's larva. So they found a way to liquefy larva or have it as a steam or something. That when it comes out of our mouth and the next person inhales it, they're inhaling larva. And the larva goes into your lungs, which is the perfect habitat. Our lungs is the perfect habitat for incubation. So, you know preemies, when they're born early, they're put in an incubator. Our lungs serve as that incubator for these insects. And whatever else is going on in our body, the biofactories are literally spitting out. Once the bugs are ready, they get spit out into your system and they move around. This is why in one of those clips, you saw my eyes wasn't right. I've noticed my eyes are not right. I've noticed twitching in certain areas. And I've seen it on patients. The eyes, a lot of people eyes are not right. A lot of people you can see jumping in their neck. Something is moving. This is the little flies. These are the little insects. That's what they are. The whole thing about this thing is not what it is. It's something different. We are producing an insect in our bodies. This is why you see those little flies in your house. When you're sleeping, it is coming out of our mouth. It was coming out of my mouth. And that's why I had to video that bug that came from the patient, because those little flies was in that room and something told me it was coming from him. Something told me that that big bug somehow came from him. So through editing the video, these video I've been making, I took a break, went on Netflix, and look what I found. The devil likes to reveal himself. The devil likes to reveal himself. What are these people plotting for us? You're making us sick? You're making our bodies produce insects? Why? If you want to kill us, just take us out. Why do all of that? This is what you all been dealing with. It is not, it is 100% facts. But I know the lungs is some type of incubator. I know there's a circle thing that you can feel that once it sinks in, it starts spitting out the bugs. And there's more to this conversation that I can't even talk about right now. Maybe in another future video if I make it that far. This is why you guys got to hit the join button, the member button. Give me a little donation, because I've 3 months of my life, no YouTube videos. So really the YouTube income is gone to nothing. Not only that, I haven't been working because I'm at the final with this thing, and I got to figure it out, and I got to make myself healthy because I got overloaded. Guys, y'all, the ones who don't believe me, trust me, start paying attention. Pay attention to what you see. I've already seen YouTubers with the little movements. This is a parasite. It's a parasite. And the thing is, it's multiple parasites in our bodies, because insects can literally harvest a ton. So when your body is ravaged with insects, that's when you swallow, the sensation of dryness, the sensation of prickliness, that's the insects. They're sucking you dry, and you have to keep on drinking, and they suck you dry again. That is what you're feeling behind your throat. And the minute you start moisturizing your throat, the minute you eat something disgusting that they don't like, it will leave, and then they come right back. You're not killing them. You're not aggravating them enough. You literally are going to have to follow me, and I'll tell you exactly what you need to do to kill them, to get them out your system. And you gotta drink some hot tea, hot water, no sugar, no sugar. Sugar, finish with sugar. Because bugs like sugar. You gotta give them the things they don't like, which is mint, rosemary, eucalyptus oil, inhale that. Moringa oil, drop a few drops of that in your tea. Buy ginger tea, lemon. They don't like none of that. Drink that sucker hot and repeat it. I'll follow up with this video. So pretty much with that, guys, you guys know what to do. Like and subscribe,